Hiya, Stitchy friends. My name is April. I am the owner of Creative Cuts and Crafts. Welcome to my Flosstube. This is a very, very large doggy booty thing. So my dog, I just dropped him off this morning at the vet for a little minor surgery. He's getting a little older, but he has some spots on his body like masses and things like that. And most of them are just fatty deposits from what the vet told me. We have sent one off for pathology screening before and it came back negative. But now the poor boy, he has a spot between his toes on his back foot. I cannot imagine that must be the most uncomfortable thing ever. But so he's getting that removed now because it keeps getting inflamed and irritating him and things like that. And to me, he's my puppy. My puppy is over at the vet right now. But as you can tell, this is a huge booty. So I'll put up some pictures of my dog, Anubis. He is a Doberman. He's the red and rust color. And well, I say he's mine. Really, he's my husband's dog. My husband has always grown up with Doberman, so he loves them. And as soon as, we were able to get a dog, he was like, I want a big guard dog. This dog is the most whiny boy ever, and all he ever wants is for somebody to just pet him, scratch him, give him love, everything like that. He would be a lap dog if he could. So he's had to, he has some issues, right? Like medical issues. So I've had to in the past get him some like clothing to wear, like they make like doggy PJs or sweaters or things like that. And oh yes, you best believe that he was the cutest puppy ever. I got him a dino suit and he was an astronaut for a while. So I'll post some pictures here. I don't normally go into life updates and stuff, but he's at the vet, he's on my mind. So I thought that I would share some cute pictures of my big puppy with you. So moving on to the stitching world, I hope you all are having a wonderful time stitching spring, stitching. We just finished up St. Patrick's Day, so maybe you had some wonderful St. Patrick's Day finishes that you were able to display this year. I hope you are doing well. And I am glad that you are here watching me. If you are enjoying the floss tubes that I have been creating, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, like my videos, send me a comment every once in a while. That would be great. I'm loving connecting with all of you, mostly through Flosstube here on YouTube, but I am also very active on Facebook and Instagram. On both of those platforms, I am Creative Cuts and Crafts. And I am also on Etsy. I have my shop there with all of my laser cut and laser engraved products that are all Stitchy related. So, what's better than that? Stitchy related wooden crafts that I do on there. I'm having a lot of fun with designing the new things, spring things. I've gotten into some inspirational designs and some religious ones, and I'm just having a blast. And the comments that I get from the buyers, it is just unbelievable. I absolutely love it. I love connecting with you all. Some of the purchases have been very heartfelt. They've maybe gone out to some of their stitchy friends, and it makes my day. It is very endearing to see that kind of stitchy kindness going to other people, and to know that my product is what connected them, or not connected them, but was able to help them connect over distances and show that they are caring for them and sending love their way, kind of thing. So on Etsy, I am Creative Cuts Crafts GA for Georgia, because I'm a Georgia girl. But you can simply search for a shop name, just put in Creative Cuts and Crafts, and you would also find me. But all of those are actually also linked down below in the description box. They are the links that I have there. So if you just want to look down there and click, then you can do that as well. But I am glad you're here. am glad that you are connecting with me on those different platforms. I also have been doing a Feature Friday item. Every Friday, I put either one item or like a theme or a type of product or something, but every single Friday I'm going to start a sale. And the first way that you will find out about it is through Instagram or Facebook. Actually, I guess the only way, because when I'm recording my Flosstube, I don't make those plans yet. So on Instagram and Facebook, if you follow me on there, then you will know about the Friday feature that I'm going to have for that weekend. So it's one item or a theme or something like that, but they go on a sale from Friday when I post to the end of the weekend, so Sunday night. But I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe you can find some things that you like. So I will do the shop releases at the end of the video so that if you are not interested in that, then you don't have to listen to it. But let's get into some stitching because I do have some fun things to show. I do actually have a finish. I don't have any fully finished projects this time, but this one is like, it will take me maybe 5 minutes to actually fully finish it. But it wasn't finished this morning, and I was like, it's going to take me 5 minutes to just finish the stitching because it was just some back stitching. So I had to do that. So this is Sweet Annette's design. It is a set of 3 called Halloween Pumpkins, and I did the cute little kitty. So this is stitched on wood. She laser cuts this wood for her kits. A lot of times there are just like stamps that she has, but this one was in the shape of a cute pumpkin. And so it is also full coverage. Like it's just like a lot of the Mill Hill kits. They're full coverage so that they cover up all of the wood. And then there is a lot of back stitching. So you can see quite a bit of back stitching. And the wood, at least, it is not forgiving. And it's also tiny. See how tiny it is? It's so cute. It's going to be really nice to put on a bookshelf for a display or something. But stitching on wood is very different. My hands hurt so bad because, especially when you get to the last full cross in a square, or you're having to add all of that back stitching, ooh, there's only so much that can fit in these holes, right? They're not pliable like even like the perforated paper, but definitely not like fabric. Like you could put, I don't know how many stitches in one hole in a fabric thing, but wood, it doesn't budge at all. So trying to get another, like a needle through it and then another strand of floss, it adds up, and that hole gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So my fingers hurt because I was like, trying to pull the needle through. Once you get the needle through, typically it's fine. But initially getting that needle through, I was using one of the tiniest needles that I could on something like this. And I've even in the past switched to a beading needle just to do the back stitching if there was a good bit of back stitching in it. I didn't do it this time. I think I was just using a 28 size needle, and I was okay, but it still hurt. So just if you're going to get one of these kinds of wooden stitching kits, then just expect that. Try to use a smaller needle is my advice, and then it won't hurt your hands as much. So, but yes, this turned out super cute. I think the back stitching really brought it to life. And then to finish it, the kit includes everything. So that is wonderful. I don't have to think about how am I going to do this or anything. You can see it's on this, it came with this little stand. So I'm just going to keep that there. It came with a piece of, I don't know, this honestly reminds me more of interfacing than anything. It's not felt, it's not, I don't know, but it's very thin, but sort of stiff. And it goes on the back there to cover up your back stitching. And did I put I didn't put it. there is a right way and a wrong way to these pumpkins. They are not symmetrical, so just make sure that you put them on the correct way. And it also came with this front piece, and you can see there's holes right along the edge, so the holes you'll go through the back piece, and you will also go through this front overlay piece. And see, it gives it a lot more dimensions with like the little vines and things that she put on there. This is so cool to me. She thought this out and made a wonderful kit. So that's going to be fun. So all I need to do is do like just a whip stitch around to get all of these holes. And then that will be an FFO, and I can display it this Halloween. And I specifically, here's the pattern. I specifically did not put the text Happy Halloween on there just because I want to keep it out for longer. And those other two, I do have all of the wooden pieces for those as well. So I'll be starting those at some point as well. So that's been fun. The other thing that I will mention about this is with these wooden pieces, you don't really have a place to put like a needle minder unless you just put it like on your magnetic board or something like that. So what I typically do is I get a large thread bed. You can see kind of, the size. And I will just keep my stitching in here because it's flat. And so I'll just keep my stitching in here and I'll put my needle up here. And that way I can keep it nice and together. So I don't have to worry about losing a needle, having threads flying everywhere, things like that. So those are always nice. I love thread beds. And they are in this cute Halloween bag. Cute, cute. So I will keep those other patterns, designs from that kit in that bag so that I can just snatch it up and start them whenever I'm ready. And she does use DMC for all of her kits. So that's also a great thing. I will actually link Sweet Annette's Etsy page down below. She has a lot of really cute, fun designs. I have another one in my stack to be started on a stamp that I actually made the stamp myself, a blank stamp, so that I could try that out because they do ship from overseas. So with shipping how it is right now, I just wanted to see if I could make my own. But anyways, now I'm moving on to whips because that was my only finish. The first whip is my big old whammy. It is Heaven and Earth Designs, Waters of Nirvana. I didn't mention this before, but I am doing the color expansion one, which includes 158 colors. So if you know about Heaven and Earth Designs, they have like a normal, they have a max color, a color expansion, and those differences, I'm pretty sure, I don't think this is incorrect. The size of the stitch is the same. So the number of stitches, so this one is it was 650 by 650, which comes out to 422,500, I think. That does not change. It is the number of different colors, DMC colors, that they use. So for example, the max color, I don't know what it is, but it could be like 250 colors. The normal might be 100 colors or something like that. But mine specifically is the color expansion, and it contains 158 colors. So whenever you are trying to, maybe you've picked out a design from Heaven and Earth Designs that you like the artwork, you want to stitch it, but then you see that they have those 3 or 4 different options or something, just know that that's what it is. If it's talking about color, max color, color expansion, then it is simply the number of colors that are different. So if I had gone for the max color, I would have a lot more confetti stitches, color changes, all of that. But I would probably get more detail, maybe. And so a lot of times that's why you look at the mock-up of the chart that you're trying to do. And because even in their listings, they will have you know, just like a photo, and then they will have the mock-up. And so you can kind of see, okay, kind of I can see more detail with the max color. And I don't mind changing more color, so I want to go for that. For this one, I did look at all of them, and I like the color expansion. I think it gave more detail than just the normal. And I didn't mind 158 colors, but I don't know what it was. Something about getting close to 200 or over 200. I was like, oh, I don't know about all that kind of confetti and color changing and stuff. So I decided to go with the color expansion, 158 colors. So let's talk about what I did. I will show you a picture of where it was before. And since then, I actually haven't done a whole bunch of stitching on it, but I did put in 275 stitches. And that was like one afternoon. And normally I can stitch more than that, but I wanted to kind of go back to those first like 3 squares or so, like some of the first initial squares that I started, and actually finish them because they were just confetti stitches, and that was all that was holding me back. So I did actually go back and finish those confetti stitches. And so here we are now. And you can see, well, maybe you can see, I don't know, because it's like super tiny stitching, but I did fully finish the first 3 squares. And I also went down on this tree here with black because I like to knock out some black when I can. And then I just started filling in some brown. I went over here, started working on the branches more, filled in some brown, but I spent most all of that day just doing confetti stitching. So it was a lot of changing colors back and forth and back and forth. One stitch here, one stitch there. Thankfully, I am doing the pin stitch on it, so I'm trying to make my back tidy as much as I can. And just not make it to where the back is going to be very puffy. I don't want that. So that has been something new that I've done for this, and I like it so far. So it's good. The next whip that I have is the story behind this is really cool. So I will be brief because you might have heard this just a little bit before, but I've been working on flip-flopped geometry. This is by Works by ABC, Arlene. And she was, so I started this with my table mates at StitchCon, which is a retreat that's hosted by Keepsakes, by Barbara at Keepsakes. And our table mates, my table mates and I decided the Saturday before we left that we were going to start something together. We were going to go to the vendor hall, the annex, and we were going to pick out a chart that all of us liked, and we were all going to do it. And we found this, and we were like, oh, we can make this like monochrome, or, well, we can stitch it however we want, but we can change the colors of the floss and the fabric and make it our own. And that way, each one of us will have the same pattern or one of these, but it'll be completely different. So I'll show you mine, and then the other ladies, most of them also shared their picture with me of either where they currently are, or if they've already finished it, then their finished piece as well. So I will put those up here too, because I think it is just so neat to see how one pattern can bring all of us together, and it kind of shows our personalities, I guess, in a sense. And everybody's, decorations in their house looks different, but we chose this pattern together, and it just looks so cool how different they can be. I am stitching mine on an 18 count Luna Moth by Bestitch Me. Then now here it is. So I've done a good bit of stitching on it. I'm loving this 18 count. This is nice, soft fabric. I love it. And this floss, whew, this is by Almond M&Ms. It is a silk. It is called Electra. And I love it. I saw that Almond M&Ms released more silk at market this year. And if I could have pre-ordered it, I would have. I didn't know like how to or whatever. I didn't see it on a on a company's business's website to pre-order, so I didn't. But now I know next year I can actually ask my LNS to pick up some for me. They actually told me that I could have done that, so now I know. But I am going to be looking at her shop and just getting more as I find pieces that I can stitch, like a monochrome, that will really show all of her different colors in the floss, because it is just perfect. And it's so nice to stitch with. That is that one, and that is in this bag by Straight from the Heart by Sue. Pretty colors, dragonflies, fun stuff. I love the inside fabric. It's very pretty. And then there's the back. Very pretty. It's all matching. All has to be matching. That was all of my whips. I do have a new start though, and it was fun. This is Heart in Hand Needle Art, a Honey of a Tiny Town. So I'm definitely getting into gardening and spring and all of that stuff. So I decided this is a perfect time. And I've also never done a tiny town. And I have a really cool display thing that my dad made me. And I can't reach it, but I'll show it to you next time that I work on this. And so I have the display. I know how I'm going to fully finish these tiny towns so that they will fit on there perfectly. And I just haven't done any yet. So my dad was ahead of the game. Anyways, so this is Honey of a Tiny Town. This is my start. And you see, I have to be very bright and colorful. This project is being kept in a beautiful project folder by Missy Lynn Co. So here it is, my colors again: teal, turquoise, yellow, blues. And this thing is huge. It can hold so many projects. Just look at it. And there's even a middle section. That's actually where I keep my tiny town. I just put the Q snap and the whole project in the middle here. So, you know, but I have another one here with another full Q snap. So this one's ready to go. I haven't even started that project yet, but it's ready. And then I have another one in the back too. So if you're ever going to a retreat or flying or traveling or whatever, I highly suggest that you look into Missy Lynn Co.'s project folders, because it's so easy to put multiple projects in here. So easy. And I like the magnetic closure here. So that's very nice. Keeps everything tidy. And so many pockets. And it even has a holder, like a handheld thing. Nice. So that's really cool. That was my new start. So we are going to go to what's at my Stitchy Spot this week. And as you all know, I like scissors. I have a lot. So I am changing them out every week just so that I can kind of show you the variety that I have. Not only do I have a lot of scissors, I also have a lot of scissor fobs. So they are also changing out every week. This is fun. So I'm going to share the fun with you. This is what I've been using. It is one of the storks, but it's like a rainbow iridescent kind. Very pretty, pretty. And here's my scissor fob. I actually got this at StitchCon last year, and these beads, they're large and they're like rubbery. They're so cool. So if you're looking at like being quiet, or if you stitch at a desk like I do and you don't want to be scratching up your desk with like some of the metal charms and whatnot, this is all rubber. And I just recently found out that Hobby Lobby carries these rubber beads and even the rubber charms. So I'm definitely going to be getting some of those and maybe making those for retreat gifts or something like that. Stitchy friend gifts. Fun. I have also decided that for my full coverages that I'm doing a pin stitch on, so Waters of Nirvana, I am going to be using a specific pair of scissors because the tip is so fine on this, and it is very easy to, move around and everything and control. These are Karen K. Buckley's The Perfect Scissor is actually what they're called. And I think these are the smallest ones that she has. It comes with this little protective case, and look at the point on that. I can be very precise when cutting with scissors and whatnot, but you cannot beat this precision, and it's flawless. Like, I have really steady hands, but when you're trying to snip the end of a pin stitch and not get any of the threads around it, you have to be very, very careful. I have steady hands because I used to work in a research lab, so I would be pipetting all the time and working with forceps, like detailed stuff, but it does matter what you're working with. So I'm using those specifically for Waters of Nirvana from now on. So if you haven't seen those scissors, I will link them below. You can buy them on Amazon, and I think they're very affordable and definitely worth looking into. Also, the handle part, it's rather large compared to some other embroidery scissors, so I do like that. And it's also rubbery, so this is also very flexible and giving. So very, very nice pair of scissors. They're very, very lightweight too. The next thing, whenever I have a finished project that I'm going to put in a frame, I've gotten to where I like to keep track of what they were. So who stitched it, I'll put either my name, or I really like to put them on the pictures that my mom and my grandma gave me, so that I remember who stitched it for me, when they stitched it for me, what was the name of the project. And for me, I also now list my fabric that I chose and any floss conversions, just in case anybody has any questions about it. But this is more to, like, for me to keep up with who gave it to me and when. Was there a special occasion? So you may be familiar with this, but people have been using library cards. There are some that are specifically for cross stitches, but I found these on Amazon and I really like the design. So I got these, and of course it says author and title, but what I put there is the name of the project and the designer. And then under due date, I put the information that I want. So it comes with a lot of these library cards. They have really pretty, like, books and flowers. There's a few different designs, even just in one pack. They come with the envelope that you can put it in. And they also come with the sticky lines that you just peel off and you put on the back of your piece, of your frame. So they're sticky. And so this is one that I finished a while back, and this is kind of how it looks. So this is what I do. I do project, designer, start date, finish date, the fabric I use, the floss, if I converted any. And I even put on this one where I got it framed. And then I'm the stitcher, so I said me. But yeah, that just tucks it away. And especially if, like, these are hanging in your home and your other family members might get them one day, I think that this is really special. I've heard of so many people saying that they save stitches by going to, like, thrift stores or whatever, to where family or whoever has just gotten rid of some of their stitching stuff. And I'm like, oh, if I stitched for a special occasion and gave something to somebody, I want them to remember, because maybe it just got lost in, in memories or translation or whatever. But this way they'll know, oh yeah, April gave that to me because of blah, 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 like some kind of special occasion. So I like doing that. All right, now on to haul. So I have a lot of haul. It was fun. I did do some market pre-orders. I have loved seeing what everybody on Flosstube has gotten from market. It has been so much fun. Thank you also for designers and helpers for kind of letting us Stitchers in on some of the fun by posting your pictures while you were at Nashville Market and while and some of the videos too, and you getting to meet the designers. Like, we can't be there. So thank you so much for sharing that little insight with us. It's a lot of fun for us to see. So I did pre-order 5 charts, and they are Sweet Wing Studio. I have already been collecting the Wordy Bird series, so I have to continue. So this is May. It is a contender for one of my top favorites that she has done for the Wordy Bird series. I also got June. I used to be a beach person. And so this is flamingos, and it looks very beachy and everything. It looks fun. But it is not one of my favorites, but I will probably still stitch it because it is very cute. I love Sweet Wing Studio, Susan O'Brien. I was able to meet her at Cabin Crossstitch, which is in Hiawassee, Georgia. They had one of her trunk shows, and they invited her to come and be on site for it, which was really cool to meet her. And I love how joyful and inspirational and she is as a person, but you can totally see it throughout her designs. They are cheerful in color, and all of the either whether it's verses or just quotes, they are so inspirational, and they just make you want to smile. So I also got This Is the Day. I think those colors are so pretty. I cannot wait to stitch this one. All right, then more bright sunshiny colors. I got this from Robin Pickens, Happy Day. That one is very cute. I don't think this will take too long to stitch, so it might go at the top of my stack. But I can only imagine I want to stitch this, and then I want to put this somewhere where I'm going to wake up in the morning and see it very quickly. Like maybe the door to the backyard where I let my dog out or something like that. And my garden's back there too. So of course I let him out first thing in the morning, and maybe I'll see this. Maybe I'll put this over there, something like that. But just a reminder, make today a happy day. This is so pretty. I normally do not stitch people or faces or something, but the colors, wow, these are my colors. So I had to get Autumn Lane's The Mermaid Marina. I saw this in the box that they released last fall, and I kept thinking, oh, should I get it? Should I get it? Should I get it? And I didn't, but I did now. So that's so pretty. I like to buy fabric a lot in person when you can touch and feel it. So at stores, at retreats with trunk shows, things like that. So I did not buy any fabric for this yesterday when I was at the Stitch and Kitten, my local needle workshop. But it was only because I'm sure that I have something very similar to this type of fabric. So I definitely want to look at my stash and see what I have. So that was all of the pre-orders that I did. But of course, I'm at the Stitch and Kitten. So I have to look around and see what they have. And I'll also mention they did let me take pictures of their store so that I could share them with you. So I will insert some pictures here. It's a wonderful store. Rebecca and Caroline are the owners, and they have bright colors everywhere, tons of charts, a huge selection of fabric. And I like how they hang them on hangers. I've seen a couple of shops do that, but I think that is one of the best ways to do it so that we don't have to pull out and search through bins and things like that. Like, we can simply see on the wall or on the hangers what they have. So they have a huge store that they are filling up, and it has been wonderful to see them grow. Also, as far as market pre-orders, I can honestly say that I think they have one of the best websites. they are constantly updating the new releases that are available at market. And once you go to their website, it is very clear Nashville Market pre-orders are here on this tab, and you can just scroll. Like, you can just scroll and see all of them. It is clean. They make everything very simple, concise, like, you know, show me the pictures and I can see what I want kind of thing. So they have a really good website for that, especially if you're looking for all of your Nashville Market needlework pre-orders in one place. I would highly suggest them. They also have a retreat coming up in April 17th through the 19th. And Caroline is actually a designer, so you'll see a lot of her designs in some of these pictures from the shop, and lots of cute, bright colors, lots of animals. She likes to do a lot of animals, and they're adorable. So I think they still have a few spots available at their April retreat. And so if you are interested, I will also link that down below. So take a look, and that would be great to support them. And I'm sure they will love having you come and visit them. I think the retreat is just like half a mile down from where their shop is. So definitely go check out their shop as well. But of course, I did get more things. I always try to take one chart with me to kit up, or in this case, I just needed fabric for it. So more Autumn Lane. I have had this chart, The Apprentice, for over a year now, I think. And I have wanted to do it. I was trying to hold out for the called for fabric, which is Middle Earth by Be Stitch Me, but I never could find it in a store, and I just didn't want to order it online without seeing the modeling in person. So it's very pretty, and I would have loved to have found that, but I did find, I think, a really good alternative at the Stitching Kitten. And this is called Scroll. Just Scroll. Okay, Scroll by Be Stitch Me. And here it is. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. I wanted more of the darker mauve color to be on the bottom, but I think this is going to be absolutely gorgeous. I like that modeling. I think it's very pretty. And if you look, like, it's really close. It just doesn't have any of that dark hunter green in there, which I think will be fine. So I'm going to do that. And they were so nice. They cut it for me down to size, and they serged it. So that's ready to go. And of course, you do buy the whole fat quarter, so I have another piece to do something else with. That'll be fun. And then I got more charts, of course, because we always need more charts, more stitching, right? So I got this Peppermint Lane by Cherry Blossoms. I think that's really cute. I have a good bit of her designs, her patterns, and I don't think I've stitched a single one of them yet. I need to do that. So I have stitched some hands-on design, but I had to get Nightlight, especially after stitching the Ladybug and seeing how much fun I had finishing it. I'm probably going to use this same frame and paint it differently, of course, but I don't think Nightlight or the lightning bug, I'm a Georgia Southern girl, we call them lightning bugs, but I don't think I would care for the flowery part of the frame. So the cool thing about this frame is you don't have to use all of the layers. This thing comes in 4 layers. It comes in a back with a back piece, and then this top piece, a circle piece, and then the other flowery piece. So what I might do is just have a circle frame. So take out this white layer and the yellow layer and just have a circle frame for it. But that way they would be still matching, and then I can paint it however I want to. So that would be cool. Another chart I got. Oh, I'm so excited about this. This is Counting Puddles. This is Spring Hummingbird Mandala. I think those are such pretty colors. how Counting Puddles does their like stitching on top of stitches kind of thing. I don't know how to explain that other than that way. It is just something so unique. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's just DMC colors, so I have no excuse to start to not start this. That's what it comes down to. But yes, that is so pretty. I do have one of their charts as a whip right now. It is the Halloween pumpkins. I don't remember the name of it, but it's like 3 pumpkins stacked on top of each other and like ghost flying all around it. It is so cute, but I think it was a mistake at this point, but I made the choice to add in sparkly threads all in mixed in it. The chart did not call for sparkly threads, but I wanted to add it in because I like sparkle. So now it's kind of on the struggle bus of whips. So I need to pull that back out because I probably am halfway or over halfway by this point, and I would like to finish it by Halloween this year or by October so that I can display it through October. But I really want to start this one too, and I'm not going to change a thing. I'm just going to stitch it like they call for it. The next one, I did not plan on getting this, but I keep seeing so many of my favorite floss tubers that have gotten this, and I kept looking more and more at the details of it. And I was like, whoa, that is way more like historically, informative, and I love the colors. So this is A Worthy Patriot by Plum Street Samplers. This is also more sort of muted, subdued of colors than what I normally stitch. Normally I'm the bright blues and bright greens like Primrose's Patriotics. And this one is just more subtle. And I'm okay with it because I can totally see myself displaying this in my home. And I mean, the details and all of the stories that are in there, historically, the historical stories behind all of this. I just think this is the coolest thing. And for her to arrange it like that, it's so pretty. So pretty. So I like that. Um, thank you all for influencing and enabling me. That was fun. I also, this is back to my spring and bright sunshiny colors. I got Sweater Weather Summer Sunflower by Robin Pickens. And yep, just so pretty. I was surprised to see that these are just all DMC colors. Her color arrangement and color palette, the way that she can make this border of yellow look like it's a variegated thread, but actually it's just how she understands and works with color. I just think that that's the coolest thing. So I'm really excited to stitch this. Then I also got a little kit. I was told by Rebecca. Rebecca is the mom and Caroline is the daughter. Rebecca told me that Mill Hill just released these spring kits. So, of course, this one just jumped out at me. And if you don't know about these kits, they do come with everything. So they come with, you can kind of see it, the perforated paper or PVC. They come with either one now. And all of the floss, the beads. This one even comes with a magnet. But they do include the needles as well. So if you're like a new stitcher or something, sometimes these are a great way to start. Or if you don't have a lot of stash, if you just want something that is quick and easy and, well, maybe not quick and easy. I don't know about that. But if you just want something that everything is already here and you don't have to go back to the store to get anything, these are a great option for you. So that's going to be fun. I haven't made one into a magnet before. I've always gotten like the ornaments or things that I actually frame. So this will be something fun and new for me. And then I touched fabric. I saw fabric, so I had to buy fabric. This was actually a trunk show that they had at the Stitch and Kitten. And it was from a company that I had never heard of before. It's called the Black Cauldron. They are a dyer of fabric, And so I felt their fabric and looked at the colors and things. They have some beautiful colors that they dye. And what I personally liked was the softer Aida that they had. So I personally thought that the linen was just a bit more stiff for my liking. And but the colors were beautiful. There was one that was almost like a off-white a little bit, and it had blue and like pink splotches that my mom kept saying, oh, this would be great for a patriotic or something like that, and it would have been. So if you are going to the Stitch and Kitten anytime soon in Irmo, South Carolina, definitely check out the Black Cauldron trunk show that they have going on. I decided to get this. Of course, more teal and turquoise colors. This is called Tide Pool. But that is so, so pretty. Pretty, pretty. And it's 18 count, I think. Yep, 18 count. And I like it. It's a little, like it's stiffer than the Be Stitch Me that I'm using for Flip Flop Geometry. Only by a little bit. But this is really nice. I like it. I also looked in their market room at some of the new floss that came in because I did not pre-order any floss or silks. And I saw a few. This one was not new from market this year, but it was a new one, I think last year, Rebecca told me. This is Pigeon by Pirate and Robin. And actually, maybe yeah, there we go. So I thought that was just so pretty. So I have actually never used Pirate and Robin before, so I'm very excited to try them out. This is a 10-yard skein, 6-strand, and it is cotton. So these last two are actually new for market. This one is Ursula. I think it is very pretty. And this one is Bloom, bright pink. Pink and like peachy, I guess, but still very, very pretty. So what I would love to do is find something similar to the Flip Flop Geometry and just use one skein for a project and just be able to see all of the variations throughout it. So I'm going to be on the lookout for something like that. But yes, so that'll be fun. All right, that was all of haul. And I will be sure to link the Stitch and Kitten down below, their retreat. I might have some very fun information to share about that retreat next Flosstube, hopefully next week. But I'm working on something with them, so it should be fun. But that's all I'm going to say about it right now. The last part is actually going to be the new releases in my stitching shop, or my Etsy shop with stitching goodies. So let's go ahead and jump into that. I will start with, there has been an announcement by Sarah J. Maas. If you know her, you know that she is the author of A Court of Thorns and Roses, ACOTAR, as we like to call it. And I am a fan. She has told us that the next two books in the series, which I believe will be 7 and 8, if I'm not mistaken. The first one is going to be released in October, and the next one is going to be released in January. So this is not new, this is old, but I did realize that I have to make more ACOTAR things for my fellow stitchy friends who like romantasy books. So this, just a reminder, it is in my shop. This is a floss organizer. The holes are large enough to fit those 10-yard skeins in there and have plenty of room. I also number them 1 through 20 so that, for me personally, I put the number on the chart that will refer back to this. So yes, that's fun. And for example, those Mill Hill kits that I was just showing you, they don't come pre-sorted usually. They just come in like not really a knot, but a tie of floss. So you need a floss organizer to keep those straight. So there's one that I already had in my shop, And I made some more of those circle organizers. The first one I'll show you is Spring Stitches and Butterfly Kisses. So all of those spring line keepers that I made last week kind of needed, like, they needed buddies. So I had to make some matching things. And here is a Bible verse: everything is possible for one who believes. Some inspirational things. I've actually already sold one of these, and it is the sweetest story. The buyer purchased it for one of her stitchy friends who's going through a hard time right now. And I had to reach out to her. I was like, thank you so much. So knowing that some of the things that I made are going, are being spread amongst stitchy friends and are being meant for them to, whenever they stitch, be inspired, be encouraged, like show support. I think that is just the coolest thing, the most touching thing to me ever. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot thank you enough. And I really do hope that it connects y'all when you're not able to be together stitching in a special way. So thank you. I also made some rectangular floss organizers. More spring, more spring. So the Earth Laughs and Flowers. Thank you, Ralph Waldo Emerson, for that. Very pretty, cute. Frogs belong in the garden. I'm definitely getting all the gardening stuff ready. I'm going to be making more gardening designs. It's just, I need to be back out in my garden and be inspired. This cold weather is sticking around too long. Easter stitches, because Easter's coming up. Look at the cute little bunnies and the chickie. And cute little rainbow down at the bottom. Spring stitches. Butterflies, flowers, bees, strawberries, everything. And again, these are 1 through 20. And cross stitch and garden all day. So yes, I'm starting to get into the gardening theme, continuing the spring theme. And with that, okay, so you've got line keepers, which, just a reminder, those line keepers that I'm talking about, they're like this. They're just a straight rectangle that you would put on your chart. I'm not going to open up and show you the chart, but imagine this is the chart instead of the picture. You would put it on your chart that has a magnetic board behind it, and then you would just move it down as you complete your line of stitching to keep your place. So line keepers, pattern keepers, place keepers, whatever you want to call them. And then on the back, there's 2 very, very strong magnets. So they will hold on to, if you have multiple things on your magnetic board, I know I do sometimes, so it'll hold on, don't worry. But that's what I'm referring to. So you've got your line keepers, you've got your floss organized, but you need to mind your needle. So look at these cute little needle minders. I think these turned out super cute. And all of these that I'm about to show you, whatever their widest or tallest point is, so whichever is larger, it measures about 1.25 inches. So that'll give you an idea. And then the back, there's 2 very, very strong magnets. So very, very strong. That will hold onto your needle for sure. Here is our rainbow that we like. It has the sun peeking out. One of my favorites, the frog. Although hopefully it's not a jinx for you. Use this on something that already has a frog in it, like a pattern that already has the frog in it, so that the frog is not visiting you because you're frogging your stitches, okay? Then this cute little daisy. Very pretty, just cute, cute. And maybe my favorite, Look at this bee. And he's smiling back at you. He's saying happy stitching. The last new thing I am starting to, actually, this was a request by my husband. He was like, so the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is coming out soon. Where's all your Star Wars stuff? So I did make a line keeper. Little Grogu, or Baby Yoda as he was once known as. And then the Mandalorian helmet. This is the way. So expect more Star Wars things too. But that is all of the new shop releases so far. I'm still working on some other things, more things in the background. It's very exciting. Inventory is growing every single day. Designs are growing all the time. I am working now with 2 different shops on some cool things. So that's really fun. And collaborating with other stitchy friends is always fun. But don't forget to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, whichever one you prefer, and you will find out about the Featured Friday. Whatever goes on sale in my shop, you'll be the first to know. And it will be on sale Friday when I post until Sunday evening. And I would also like to know in the comments down below on my Flosstube, were you stitching on something today? What were you stitching on? I would love to know. So please like, comment, subscribe, follow me on the socials, follow me on my Etsy shop. Hopefully you can find something in there that you like. I'm going to be releasing a lot more stuff. And the last thing is, I always hope that we all love, grow, and create every single day. I have loved being here with you. It is my joy. It brings me a ton of joy to share my stitching, to share the things that I make with you, to hear your stories about who you're sending stuff to, who are you buying some of these things for? Are you gifting them, or are you keeping them yourself to grow your stash and enjoy? I always am growing with knowledge and understanding and just collaborating with people. It's growing me on a creative level every single day. And I am creating even just one stitch. That is creating, right? So I love creating things. And hopefully I will be creating this week by fully finishing my Halloween pumpkin kitty. So that'll be fun. And until next time, I hope that you have a wonderful time stitching. Love, grow, and create every day. Bye.